Krishna, Hare Hare. Welcome everybody to yet another edition of our weekly Kirtan.
I'm just gonna make this good.
And when people come to, well, any gathering or actually do anything, you know, they've got their own intentions or motivations like that. But when it comes to chanting Kirtan, particularly, you know, glorifying God's names, by chanting His names, in one way, in a way, the motivation, whatever one comes to, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it says karma sarva karma moksha karma udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajena purusham param. I just learned this other day because it inspired me so much when I read it. It means that whether one is free from any desire, which means no material desire, whether one possesses the sum total of all desires, or whether one desires just liberation, moksha. If one has broader intelligence, one should simply worship, practice devotional service with force, and worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of God. So this is something that really struck me, and I was thinking about it. Actually listening to my spiritual master comment on this, and he was saying that pure devotional service, which means one is just performing activities, you know, for pleasing Krishna, is so powerful that even if inside you are not pure, it doesn't matter. It's like you just perform that activity, and by being in association with that pure activity, you will become purified. So it's really nice. It means actually anybody can perform pure devotional service, right now.
I think it's taken the other way though. They can feel like they can do whatever they like because then they just come here once a week and then they fix everything.
It is.
It's more of a Catholic thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it does something to the consciousness because you're letting God in, and I think that type of thinking one will then come across that and think like, okay, for some time one might be able to do that at one stage and think, listen, but I can't just come because when one actually commits, you know, to that path, then this thing actually comes out. It is an offense to the Holy Name to do that. To think I can just be a rascal and just chant and all the karma will go away, because chanting does purify karma. But if one has that mentality, then Krishna reserves the right to withdraw his potency from his names. So then you're just chanting like a shadow, like that. But initially, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of mercy available in the beginning. But it's when one seriously adopts this process, then these things they come out to be right. So it's like that. So I liked it a lot. They said tivrena bhakti yogena. This word tivra means they use it to describe the sun as well. That the purity of the sun, you know, there's a force in there. So you have like stool, and stool is the very most contaminated object. Like nobody wants to touch it, and even if you touch it, you become contaminated. But the sun, when it shines on it, it does not become contaminated, and it purifies the stool. So the stool is like full of these impurities. So similarly, with devotional service, they're comparing like tivra bhakti yogena, like the force of bhakti. It shines and it purifies all the impurities, it burns it out.
So it's put compass.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can use it to your garden. This is something you eat.
It's human.
Make it useful.
So I like that, and especially because like I'm in a very contaminated condition, so I feel like there's hope for me. So I can take shelter from this process. And the chanting is like the prime means of entering into that and becoming God conscious. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Sankirtan.
Not in the house, please.
Yes, very much.
Number 13.
13.
Yeah.
Not in the house, okay, please.
So I'll do the Sanskrit recipe. Just,
Check it outside.
ah,
Can you move on?
that's it. I'll just say it, not sing it.
What you like?
Chatur Varnyam Maya Shushtam Guna Karma Vibhagataha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidhi Kartaram Avyayam 413.
Translation. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
This is Krishna speaking. There's a purport or commentary given by Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami. He says, the Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of Him, everything is sustained by Him, and everything after annihilation rests in Him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called Brahmanas, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called the Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men, called the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance, and the Shudras, or laborer class, are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of His creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions, because He is not one of the conditioned souls, a section of whom form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate men from the animal status, the above-mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a particular man towards work is determined by the modes of material nature which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 8th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas. Although Brahmanas by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, Brahman is spirit, right? The supreme absolute truth. Most of them approach only the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. It means that's the white light. That's most of them they go for that. But the man who transcends limited knowledge of Brahman and reaches the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of God, Lord Shri Krishna, becomes a person in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, a Vaishnava. Krishna consciousness includes knowledge of all different planar expansions of Krishna, namely Ram, Nrsimha, Varaha, etc. That means all these different names for which God is known as, and He's known by these names according to.
Just a question, I don't really know much about Krishna myself, but is it part of the Hindu system? Is it like, with all the Shiva and Shakti and all those guys, is it part of that, or is it like a separate system?
No, it's part of that.
Okay.
Because it comes in that whole umbrella of Hinduism.
Okay.
Yeah, I explain that. Krishna, and as Krishna is transcendental to the system of the four divisions of human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider the divisions of community, nation, or species. Basically, there are all these like powerful personalities who are much bigger and powerful than ourselves, and so basically, in modern day Hinduism, which is a recent thing actually, the word Hindu doesn't exist in any of these Vedic literatures. It's actually a word which came what do you say, like colloquially, is that the right word?
Colloquially.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Sindhu? Didn't they come from?
Yeah, it came from, historically, they used to live on the bank of the Sindus River, and they were people of the Vedic culture, and they followed these four orders of society. And but they pursued different paths, but they had knowledge of the Vedas of how to perfect those paths. And so they were kind of gathered. There were sun worshippers, moon worshippers, ghost worshippers, Shiva worshippers, and the Vaishnavas was another group amongst all of them. So on the opposite side of the river, the Muslims, they would just refer to them as the Sindhus, the people living by the Sindhus River. But they struggled pronouncing this, so it kind of came to as Khintus. And from that came the word Hindu. Basically, originally it actually just meant the people living by the Sindhus River, which include these people of quite different parts actually. But then as the British kind of came and they like to just box things up, so then Hindu label just got put on that whole thing. And today, even the Hindus don't really know what the Hindus are doing. They just put as much spaces on the altar, they'll just put as many personalities on there. And it's very sentimental, and it's not a really philosophical understanding of who they are or what they represent. So then, and also this impersonalist notion of, especially Vivekananda's song was propagating this rubbish. He was saying, Yatamatatapa, means every path leads to the same place. Doesn't matter what you do, you'll attain the same destination. So it doesn't matter who you worship or what style of worship, you get to the same place. But actually in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says,
You dropped one.
he says,
Behind me.
Deva Vrata Deva Vritan Pitri Anti Pitri Vrata Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Mam. This was the last part. So he says, those who worship the Devatas, the demigods, they will attain the planets of the demigods. So if you worship the sun god, you can, in your next life, gain residence on the sun planet. You have a body that is capable of existing there. We think there's no life. We're looking for water or an air when we look for life. But they're actually just looking for life as we know it. So they're actually very narrow-minded. They don't understand life exists in a way which we do not know. What about that? This is a water-based planet, so naturally our bodies are water-based. But if you have a fire-based planet like the sun, if you have a body which is fire-based, no problem, you can live there, why not? So therefore the scientists are so small-minded actually in the way they're approaching it. So you can go to the sun, you just need a body that can live there. So by worshipping the sun god, or Surya Dev is known, or known as Ra, Egyptian culture and these things, you can live there it's a very nice place to live, very, very, a lot of enjoyment is there, everything is peaceful and organized, and people are harmonious and very elevated in their consciousness, very pious. So it's a heavenly planet. If you can worship the Chandra, the moon god, you can go there. It's known by different names in different cultures, so it's not like it's religious to know that name. So similarly, Krishna says if you worship the ancestors, the Pitris, you go to the Pitri Loka, you go to the place of the ancestors, which is also a pious, like heavenly region. Interesting enough, it actually exists in the lower regions of the universe, but it's a pious place. It's a place where good souls go. And if you worship ghosts and these people, then you go to those places. But Krishna says, but if you worship me, you come to my abode, the spiritual realm, where nobody ever returns from. So here Krishna is actually saying that that all paths do not lead to the same place.
So can I just, in a Christianity comparison,
Sure, yeah.
Christ consciousness, is that the same as Krishna consciousness?
One and the same.
One and the same.
Yeah, Krishna was a propounder and preacher of God consciousness, and the consciousness he had was God consciousness.
You mean
it was
Jesus?
Krishna consciousness, yes.
Jesus.
Jesus,
You
yes.
said Krishna.
I know.
I thought you said Krishna was a propounder of Krishna.
Sounds very similar.
I say Krishna. Okay, I see.
Krishna.
Yeah, I meant to say Jesus was a propounder. Or actually Isha was his name,
Yeah.
wasn't he? So not Jesus is more. Yeah. So yeah, he was a pure devotee.
And then I read something very interesting on Facebook today, and I'm going to find it if you don't mind, because I actually wanted to tag you. Have you gone on Facebook?
Yes,
I couldn't find it.
still.
There?
On there, BRH, I think.
BRH, maybe I did BRI.
Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to tag you to get your comments. It's very
Sure.
interesting.
So therefore Krishna is actually just one name of God, which is Bhagavan, means one who possesses 6 opulences. And so God is naturally the source of everything, so he possesses these 6 opulences, which are beauty, knowledge, power, so fame, renunciation, and wow, opulence. Yeah, thank you. So these 6 things, they're all attractive. These all things which attract us consist of one or more of these things. So we're attracted to a very renounced person. We're attracted to somebody who's very wealthy, very smart, very beautiful. So all these things come from source, from Krishna. So, but these other personalities in the Hindu pantheon, they are appointed administrators of this universe to take charge of universal affairs because they have a desire to be in a position of control. But they're also willing to completely work with God and His law. So they're extremely pious entities. So they're actually responsible enough to be given the control of the rain or of the moon, which completely controls how much juice you get in your vegetables, for example. It's the rays of the moon that give the medicinal herbs their qualities. So if a thing's grown indoors, it doesn't have the same qualities because it doesn't get the moonlight. So these are his administrators. You can see them as like a government official, like the different posts that they occupy, and then they also rotate. So you can also become the sun god by certain rituals, and then you can in your next life occupy the position of being the deity of the sun planet. And they say there's 33 million, or 330 million such demigods, each controlling. They're like what 8 principal demigods, and then they have got their ones who work with them. For everything we do, just blinking your eyes, there's a superior power which grants the ability to do that. We cannot act independently at all. We think we're so powerful, I can lift my finger if I wish, but where did that potency come from? It's given to us, and it can be taken away also. So it is the Western kind of thinking doesn't like this. Because we don't like to think that actually I'm powerless. We're too proud.
I want control.
Yeah. So basically, God, but by no amount of activities can you become Krishna. That's the difference. So therefore we distinguish Krishna as he's not a deva, he's not a demigod. Some Hindus become very offended when we call him demigod because they think they're putting them down, but actually in Bhagavad Gita itself, it's clearly explained. But still people comment on it, they'll say that they're one and the same. Even though Krishna very directly says they're not, because there's a difference in it. And then Shiva, he's a completely different category himself, because he's also like God, but in another way he's also not. So he's actually he's like in between. So, but we give him like full respect, and he's like a very special personality, a very powerful personality. He's also known as Mahadev, he's known as the greatest Deva. So amongst all the Devas, Shiva he stands out. So it is very special. So I won't get too much into Shiva. But that's basically where Krishna fits in. But Krishna also is a personality that appeared 5,000 years ago. It's not just something that he had his advent.
Incarnated.
Yeah. Incarnated is kind of, I guess, the closest English word. But the word incarnate means to become flesh.
Yeah.
But like Krishna, actually, he just appeared. Even though because the way he appeared, even you see, is not normal. First,
according to the Gnostic Christian text, Jesus never really incarnated. He kind of sort of possessed Jesus the man, or the possession isn't really a good word. But apparently the disciples said that Jesus Christ, because when Jesus became Christ, he was the spirit of this transcendent being was sort of channeling through him, and it was his sort of favorite channel to use. But apparently he also came to the disciples as a child. If he could find a person that was pure enough for him to take his channel,
yes,
he would use that channel to.
That's really interesting. Gnostic Christians.
Yeah.
In our Vedic understanding, that's called the Shakti-Vesh avatar. It means it's a living entity, like me and you, like a tiny soul, a jiva. But because of that qualification of being able to be pure and they fully surrendered soul into God, they can get specially empowered by God to perform a specific mission.
That's why Judas had to kiss him, because he was showing the archons or the Romans or whatever they were, because they thought if they nailed him onto a cross while the Christ consciousness was in the body, they could kill the Christ consciousness as well. But Christ was that's why on the cross he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" Because Jesus couldn't die, or the Christ consciousness couldn't die. He was never born and he couldn't die. He was just channeled through Jesus,
No,
apparently
it's
according
true,
to the
it's true.
Gnostics.
And similarly, each of us can also become empowered with the power of God, you know, which is what Jesus had, because he was that pure conduit, which is like pure spiritual energy, because he had that intimate relationship with God. That he could be done that. So that's the very, very special personality of Jesus, actually. It's cool that in Gnostics, I didn't know that in the Vedas they say Shakti Veshavakar. It means especially, he descends, especially with his mission, and he's empowered with a really special potency that he can do things which humans usually can't do. So definitely, that's really cool. So then, I just want to bring it back to this text about these 4 orders. It is that, you know, people think that they've got this idea that all is one, but they try to apply it on the material platform. But it does, we should get this mess of this postmodernist, this gender fluidity, this manifests so many postmodern art. Basically, you know, you can vomit on a canvas and you can sell it for 10 million, you know, it's like, it's literally, sometimes that's what the art is. But nothing has any inherent value and everything is just made up. But here Krishna says that he actually created things with inherent value. And that, for example, like a man and a woman, they are different. Like they are very similarities, but they're also different. It's like a man cannot become pregnant and give birth. By no amount of surgery or hormone treatment will a man ever be able to, in this body, give birth. Well, that's what they
Not
say.
ever,
I don't accept post-dated checks. Scientists like to say, we will.
Yeah.
It's a post-dated check. I don't trust that because it might bounce when I try
Full
to cash it in.
transhuman, transgender,
Yes.
very scary.
And similarly, a woman has never been able to, and I don't think they will ever, be able to impregnate a man or impregnate another woman. So there's clearly like certain restrictions with which we are putting. I mean, you can believe what you want to, you know, the reality still remains. So it's just one example. But obviously, that can be taken the wrong way with certain, you know, people can be oppressed. But I'm just saying, like, as a matter of like objectivity. So and if we don't, and this is the way God has created it. And if we accept it like that and we engage with that situation with the intention of serving God, because that's what it's also about, then it becomes beautiful. But it's when you try and like twist it for your own evil means, that's when the nonsense comes. And Krishna's saying here that the way it's been made is actually for our benefit. Because like they're saying, like the laborer class, for example, they're mentioning here, lots of people when they hear that, they will think like suppression, oppression, or like that. But some people, just by their nature, are just inclined to that work. So then why they should not do that? Then why should they not do like the menial work? But it's also depending on what you've done in your last life, in your previous lives, which will also give your consciousness a certain type of quality, which will then put you in a situation in this world, which resonates with that. So if you do not use your free will properly, you will be put in a situation where you have less free will. So like a means of reformation, but also as a means of protecting us. Like you cannot give a 4-year-old child like complete free will. Some parents do. I checked some videos where they no rules parenting. Kids can do whatever they want.
It's like neglect, really. I
And then
think,
this
yeah.
one person commented on one of the videos, yeah, you know, some just like that, they had 11 kids, some of them died, some of them in prison, some of them are addicted, you know, all of it, only one is okay and he has rules for his children. So kind of people trying that, you know, but it doesn't work because they do not have the responsibility, because they're going to harm themselves. And a ruler, a king who's actually God conscious, he understands the purpose of life is to bring that entity, that soul is born in a human body, one step closer to God at least within this life, so then that life is not wasted. But if they do not make even one step of progress towards becoming more God conscious, it was an absolute waste of human life, which is such a precious life. It's a rare form of life. It says there's 8.4 million species of different types of bodies you can get. 400,000 of them are human species. Celestial beings also considered humans at different degrees, but this particular human is the most powerful in actually attaining spiritualization. It's available in the other planets also, but generally people are pursuing enjoyment there because it's hard to describe the enjoyment which is available there. So to restrain the senses from engaging with that, to be on the spiritual path is almost impossible. Some yogis, they try to do that part. Life after life, they just perform yoga and they go up. But at any point, if they get attracted by the beauty of the woman there, which is indescribable, or the aroma of the food or anything, then they stop there, they enjoy the power that they've accumulated for thousands and thousands of years, and then they drop down back to this body. And then they can try again. So, but these, so this word dharma means, and I want to finish with this, it means occupational duty. It's the nearest, best English translation of the word. And what it means is that by exercising our own free will, we are put into a situation that has certain responsibilities. It's not, it's the laws of nature put that on us, but it's also for our benefit. For example, like if I want to be a monk, I don't want to be married, then I have certain responsibilities. I can't just live off of the people who are working, because they are supporting these people who are not working, who are monks. But this guy can't just sit and do nothing, because what kind of exchange is that? So that person is he's actually serving the community by being very strict in spiritual practice, by also studying the literatures, to empower himself so that he can also assist the people who are engaged in material affairs, and to help them and to support them and in a non-judgmental way. So they have duties like that, and they have to be celibate. They can't have some girlfriends or friends on the side. It's not allowed. That's our dharma. But if you choose to get married, then you can do that. But now you have other duties. You've got a wife to take care of. You have children. Now you have to work. You have to earn money. You have to take care of them. You have to support them. You can't just be like a lot of these men. They're just like absolute like dogs. They just want to enjoy. They're not thinking of service. They're just thinking about them. They just want to have sex, and then the kids come, and then this is just such a hassle for them. Can you show me that sex? What kind of animal is that? So it's
even animals look after their young.
Maybe you take birth as one of those animals which don't hang around. They just do it and then bye bye, like a pigeon or something like that. So it's so there's a dharma, and this dharma is also a natural thing. Anybody who's actually honest with himself can understand this is what I'm supposed to do. You don't even need a book to tell you. It's actually natural. But sometimes we're so ignorant, we do need a book to tell us the things which are quite obvious to the people who are not so covered. So, and by performing that dharma, you'll make advancement. One will get purification. You'll get understanding of, okay, what is the nature of my desires? You'll reassess it. Do I really want these desires? Like you want to enjoy, for example, just association with opposite sex. And after some time, I'll think, is it really that relishable? Yes, it's relishable, but it also comes with so much trouble. This is both for men and women. It's both for men and women. If they spend a lot of time together, there's always something that happens. Always. It's not good to spend too much time together. Everybody knows this. I think who's got some experience, right? Do you agree? It's like you need some space. You need to be, a man must be a man, the woman must be a woman. It's like...
I was watching this thing on Hasidic Jews that the man doesn't even, they interact, but he's not allowed to touch his wife while she's having her menstruation. So for 2 weeks they give it a break. They sleep in different rooms. And this guy who's not a Hasidic is interviewing, he's like, but, you know, and he's like, it keeps it fresh, because after 2 weeks, then it re-freshens it up again. Because he says that constant familiarity kind of actually kills a lot of relationships. And having this separation once a month, it works for the Hasidic. It keeps the relationships going for so long.
And you're sharing the same mental space.
In that community, it's like divorce, not allowed.
Your thoughts mix, your feelings mix, and after some time it's hard to actually distinguish between what's actually my feelings and thoughts. So it is so therefore, and everybody can kind of feel it. So there's a dharma. So it's very good to know what is one's dharma and to follow that. So these are called swadharmas, which mean they circumstantial dharmas, because they can change. I'm a monk, and this is my dharma. I get married, and this becomes a dharma. When I complete my family life and I want to renounce again, my dharma is different. If I'm born in the body of a man, my dharma is this. If I'm born in the body of a woman, my dharma is that. if I'm born in a different class of person, I have my dharmas also. And these are all just a consequence of our actions. So let's say one is in the situation of being a laborer, for example. Then, by the way, we're all mixed. In this age, everything's just mixed. And furthermore, they say in this day and age, everybody's a Sudra, everybody's a low-class person. Because this is our consciousness, it's like completely undisciplined. So that way, nobody can actually claim more class, just as a side note. But if one is born as a Sudra, it's because, what did I do in my last life that brought me here? But if I perform this Dharma of a Sudra, in my next life I can become elevated, I'll become a Vaishya, then a Kshatriya, then a Brahman, and then I'm in a position where my consciousness can actually absorb itself much more efficiently in Brahman, in spirit. But at the end, Prabhupada mentions here, but anybody who serves God with whatever they're doing, regardless of your Dharma, your class, your type of body, male, female, it doesn't matter. If you serve God, you are more than a Brahman. Immediately, you actually completely transcendental to all these things, because these are material designations. It doesn't go away. If you're a father, you're still a father. If you're a mother, you're still a mother. But your classification is actually beyond that. You become a Vaishnava. It means you're a servant of God, which is superior to everything. For somebody who's serving God, they're not claiming any ownership over nothing. They're not identifying with I'm a man, I'm a woman. They're just like, I'm a servant of God who right now I'm serving as a father. I'm serving as a mother. I'm serving as a man, as a woman. I'm serving as a laborer. I'm serving as a merchant. But I'm just a servant of God, and I'm serving God in this way right now. So that it can change according to the body. But that doesn't matter, because my only intention is to serve God. It means you're free from fear. Your position, if it can shift, because it will, doesn't matter, because you just think, I just want to serve God and I can do that under any condition. Doesn't matter. So that's amazing. So these divisions are actually meant for materialistic people, and to help elevate them. And when they become a Brahman, hopefully then, by meditating on Brahman and studying the scriptures, they can understand something more about the personality of God. But otherwise, you can just jump straight there. You don't have to wait. It's not there. God consciousness is available to anybody who wants it.
So you're saying your material state won't change, you won't go from being a laborer to being a Brahmin, but by being a servant of God will change.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because your tendency is still your mind and body still has its conditioning. So you still have the same tendency to act in a certain way. It's not like all of a sudden your likes and dislikes will change. If you like working with your hands, it's still going to be like that.
Yeah.
But now you're just going to engage that liking to serve God. Or if you like making money, it's fine, make money. But now you're going to do it for a different purpose. It's like the purpose is changing. So, but your nature won't change. It might change a little bit, for example,
And your Dharma will
actually,
change.
one will even still be inclined to engage in like self-destructive activities, like maybe intoxication or sleeping around or some other things which are actually bad. And but by the devotional service, one will actually become less inclined to these things. So in a sense, that lower nature can actually start changing. Or furthermore, even if one still has that in one's heart, because one is experiencing such a higher taste in devotional life, then all these other things are just like fail. They're just like.
Well, I've been thinking about it quite a bit lately, because it's like the more you sort of serve God, it puts your ego on the back seat. Like who I am and my story becomes like less important, because now you serving God, or you're becoming more of a channel for God.
Yeah,
So
I just try and create I just pray to be a channel all the time, like that. I'm just an instrument of His work.
you're not doing it for me or my for my advancement or for people to like me or whatever. You're just doing it to allow God to act in this world.
Yes. There's a sense of love also, because devotion and service means there's a person. You can't express devotion to like white light. It's like you can't embrace it.
But as soon as you're going, I'm doing this for love, that's kind of your ego kind of clawing its way back in there.
But I mean, like for me, I see us all as an expression of creation. So I worship the Creator because it's easier for me. Like there's only one divine Creator that created everything.
Yes.
and we are all an expression of that creation. So if you're not being good to yourself as well, because I had this problem that I would always put myself at the back of the queue and serve others first. So then I realized as well that's also an insult to the Creator, because this is an expression of creation, so you have to treat that as well, or better than everyone else.
Yeah, it's true. And in that relationship with God, those things also become more apparent. And then one can also see where the balance is. But then, as soon as you get a good thing, before long the mind's figured a way to mess it up. The ego's figured a way to like, oh, it was so good. It's like that. But when that's just like, no, I'm just a servant, that immediately defeats the whole thing. I'm just a servant of God, I'm nothing else.
Yeah, stay humble.
And then even if it comes, one can even pray, please, can I just remain in your service, because I can check this thing coming. Probably it will overtake me, but if you protect me, I can be safe. And you just put your head down, it just flies right over your head. And that's the only safe position, it's just to be a servant. And just to be like, and not even attached to how I want to serve. I want to serve like this or that. That's also ego. But as this verse I quoted before the Kirtan said, even if you're full of desire, it doesn't matter. You just approach God with that. Even if you're going to God to get money, go to God, go to the Creator. Because in that association, you'll get purified from these things. Like you're coming into the fire will cleanse the impurities. So therefore, when we see people who are approaching God with material motives, one should not chase them away. They're at the right place. You should say, good, do it. Make lots of money and use that money to serve God. Yeah? And get purified, It's like, there's nothing wrong with making money. So what you're going to use it for? That's the thing. So it is last week was saying, you're a thief if you do not use everything to please God, because that's actually all that belongs to Him. But God's so kind, He still lets us enjoy. Enjoyment comes as a natural consequence of just doing our dharma. You don't have to worry. So this devotional service is called the Sanatan Dharma, which means it's our eternal nature. It's the constitutional position of the soul. That never changes. So therefore, if one just practices that under any condition of life, you're immediately on the transcendental platform. Even if you can't perceive it, even if it's a bit mechanical. And you can do that as a husband, as a mother, as a father, as a wife, as a friend, as a leader, as a laborer, as a businessman, whatever. You can perform your Sanatan Dharma. Because that's actually the most important.
Oh wow, that's a nice airplane. What happened to yours?
So I think that's really powerful. That's really beautiful. It's so broad. It's like everybody can do it.
It's hard to explain her without coming across as
Maybe that stuff is not
making it seem like it's the cost to stick it on top. You want your truck? You are being oppressed.
Okay, you can just quickly go in and get the truck. It's getting even taller. Why don't you just get the truck with
think
no
quite
makeup?
difficult to.
If I'm in a community, I've spoken about this a lot. How would one say, okay, you are this, because it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I think
People
the
get
idea that
quite
the most seemed to me that be the most efficient is that you have certain positions and need to be filled. You need someone who's going to manage, you need someone who's going to work. So then you say, okay, this is the position, but these are the responsibilities. Are you willing to accept them?
Yeah.
And that's not negotiable because the responsibilities are connected to the position.
Yeah.
So if you want to be the leader, fine, be it. But you have to fulfill these responsibilities. If you cannot, do not accept the position. So you know what you're getting yourself into, you know what you'll be expected.
You're accountable to everyone, whereas the labor is just accountable to his boss.
Exactly. So then anybody can be the leader or the Brahman if you can accept the responsibilities. So I think that's great. And some people, they just by nature, they don't want to take responsibility of taking care of everybody. Because it's not their nature. Their nature is, I just want to grow food. And I'll care for people by sharing the vegetables, that's really nice. Or I just want to help the other people. I like working. It's like whatever needs to be done, I'll do. So I like doing that.
There's also another aspect. So it's not in the verse, but so the seemingly the highest in that sort of caste system, is the Brahmana. Ooh, he's the top guy. But actually, if you say, okay, who wants to be the Brahmana? The Brahmana owns nothing. He has nothing.
Yeah.
He's penniless. So actually, the highest. That's why the Vedic system was very propelling and propels people towards God consciousness, because the highest, the most, the leaders of that were the most humble and the most pure. So they look who's going to own nothing and going to have very little enjoyment and is not going to have a little bit of like rag around his, stay in a little hovel. You can be the Brahmin, and we'll look up to you. And, so he doesn't, and also the Brahmin earns his money through charity. He never gets paid for anything.
He doesn't charge nothing.
He doesn't. If somebody's getting, so a king, a Kshatriya, earns through
taxes.
Plunder and tax. Yeah. Vaishya earns through profit. Vaishya doesn't like get paid for his services. That's a Sudra.
But there will also be in knowledge, because you have access to the libraries and stuff like that.
No, that's a Brahmin. But he gets paid in charity. People, if he gives them some knowledge, they're going to give him a donation.
Out of gratitude.
Yeah.
But a lot of times what happens is a king is there and he's very wealthy, and the Brahmin comes and he gives him like 100,000 cows, all decked with gold and all these things, and then the Brahmin will be very happy, and then he'll just give it all away in charity and keep on cow. Because he's like, okay, it's really nice, but I need one cow now. So the other cows I'll give to somebody.
But
So it's like,
in the temples, the pure devotee system does kind of manifest, and everybody wants to be the Brahmin. Everybody, when they realize they're like, the Brahmin has nothing and very little enjoyment. He's like basically just can eat a little bit.
sleep on the
That's his function. And then also the austerity to study Shastra and study, just to sit down and study for 2 hours. Everybody wants to be a Brahmin, but who can actually employ their mind? It's much easier to employ your physical body.
Yeah.
It's much easier. Who can control the self? That's what a Brahmin has. That's his work. It's much easier to work with tools. Spade and
Like one of the duties of the Brahmin is to be peaceful.
yeah, much easier.
Tamas.
It's much easier to be a little bit active and control other people. They want to be a Brahmin and control other people.
No, it doesn't work. Because controlling is mode of passion. Brahman is the mode of goodness. Yeah.
Exactly. It is a very it's a scientific system that actually works, but the humility to practice it, it's like it's very hard to find.
It requires some degree of spiritual vision already.
Exactly, just to exist
To
in.
even begin to apply that system, you already need to have some kind of spiritual perspective, as opposed to our materially based perspective we have nowadays.
It's a very nice point. Thank you. I like that. Because it's almost like as you progress from Sudra to Vaishya to Kshatriya, you're becoming more and more wealthy, and then as a Kshatriya, you've got a palace, you've got like 100 wives, and then you advance more and you're like a Brahmin. But even the kings at that point, they call it when they like become the king, they say they're accepting the burden of kingships. They also consider it a burden. There's such a weight of responsibility. Now you have to care for all these people, so they do it.
And it's 1/6 of the timer of all the.
Yes.
So okay, I'll have South Africa as my king. Great. Okay, so everybody guys slaughtering cows, murder, I'm taking 1/6 of all of that.
Yeah.
Great.
No.
You guys knock yourselves out. Have a fun feast of a day. I'll take 1/6 of your car.
Yeah.
I'll be the king of South Africa. Who's doing anything good? I'm gonna get 1/6 of good. Nobody.
I guess therefore it behooves them to enforce like law.
You got airplane when you
Nobody's doing anything good. Everybody's just doing bad.
make it again.
It's a rotten deal.
I guess his name is Ram, so you kind of get some communication.
Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
something. So somebody else you'd like to ask a question or
So I was trying to find that post that got lost. I mean, it was posted today. It's on Ram Das's group, but it was a historical question relating to like the history of Buddhism and Hinduism and Krishna, and it kind of tied in with. But it was quite interesting. I wanted to take
Because it is very interesting. The historical narrative of Buddhism is a very historical, specific historical thing.
So they got into a little bit of a debate in the. I know. So I was just interested in
Yeah. It's just history. There's no debate.
Oh. Should I put it back in here? It's very good.
Where's Melon today?
I don't know, he's sitting with
The
the
Hindus in, with the river makes sense.
I find it like Ashoka, have you heard of him? He was the king. He was the guy who kind of came up with the United Nations sort of charter, like on human rights and animal rights, all of